New research shows you may outlive your 401k. So I'm just sitting here minding my own business, getting ready to go for a walk. My Hartford Whalers tank top that my wife just watched last night. And it's, did she? Yeah, she did. And she just cut my hair too. So I'm getting ready to go for a walk. Then my man Kurt sent me this. And I'm like, I can't take it. Can't take it. So I appreciate Kurt. And I haven't read the piece of literature from Boston College yet. But let's... All right, so look, she's concerned. Watch this. I'm going to put that on there to show how concerned I am. All right. So I just want to show you something here. The economists from Boston College Center for Retirement Research say compare the drawdown spreads or speeds between those with traditional pensions and those without. Although most research on how long retirees' money lasts is based on the former, those with traditional pensions, the latter, the majority of people now fall into the latter. Although most research on how long that doesn't make sense. Although most research on how long retirees' money is based on the people with pensions, what? Who wrote this? Anna Nova. What the hell are you talking about, man? I don't. She worked, I'm not here to bash the lady. I'm like, what the hell? Prior to CNBC, she was an editorial intern at Money. She reported in the South Bronx for 2 years Oh, there you go. She got a master's in journalism, so there we can excuse her from CUNY, City University of New York Graduate School, and an undergrad from Hunter College. I got a sneaky suspicion Hunter College is a very wealthy school. She's a reporter for the personal finance team covering education. And she was an intern. Okay. I'm not bashing the lady. The only Nova I know is Joe Nova. Let's take a look at Joe Nova, shall we? Because you should follow her. Joe Nova at the joannova.com.au. I'll put a link in the show notes. And she is freaking from Australia. Kicks ass when it comes to the falsity of renewables. Europe wants coal. Austria, Netherlands switch on old coal plants. And Poland pays for coals to homes. Yeah. So Joe Nova kicks ass. I've donated to her because she freaking kicks ass. Not afraid to challenge the climate Nazis that are down south in Australia. All right. So let's keep reading here. So I want you, right here. Shares of households by birth year with access to a traditional pension. And you can see if you're born in 1950, only 37% of us. I was born right there, and it's right here. Shares of households by birth year. I was born in 1970. So shares of households by birth year with access to a traditional pension. So literally, since 1947, my mom was born in 1946, my dad in 1947. So anyone born after that, the majority of people did not have access to a traditional pension. And access doesn't mean they actually had it. That just means they had to work in a place for 20 to 30 years to get it. Having access is not the same as having a pension. It's another thing that ticks me off. People say, you had access to a pension. The vast majority of us did not since my whole lifetime. That's just a fact. And most likely yours too. Part of that access does not mean you had it. All right, so then we're going to come down here. This was just, it's freaking dumb, man. The researchers found these plans deplete much faster than expected. That sounds bad, doesn't it? But then we just read. One example of the analysis looked at households who entered retirement with $200,000. By age of 70, retirees who had a 401k but no pension had $28,000 less than retirees who had a pension. Okay. A difference amounts of 1/8 of the initial balance. What? By age 75, they had $86,000 less than those with a pension. Okay. Do they not see so many? It's just bad logic. So just because you had less than the person with a pension doesn't mean you're freaking eating cat food. On top of that, you're comparing apples to oranges. $200,000 in savings. If you had a pension, you would compare it to someone who did not have a pension that saved more. This is what we hear all the time for government employees. The reason they have a pension is because they don't make as much money, supposedly, and so they're not able to save as much as people in the private sector. Now, we can challenge that, and we should, but still, it's like you have, inherently, it's like saying, well, someone who's got $200,000 retires with a with a guaranteed annuity is going to have less money or more money than someone who has $200,000 without a guaranteed annuity. Of course. But you compare it to someone who has $200,000 with an annuity you would compare that to someone $500,000 without. It doesn't, it's like, it's, people spend a large share of what they have when they have a 401k. Well, what's large there, lady? This is the lady over at, and I've never heard of Gail Wetstein. She's a author of this article, Retirement Studies at Boston College, right there. Gal Wetstein. I haven't heard of her. I'm like, who the hell is this? And that doesn't mean she's bad. It's just she's not the traditional people at Boston College. I'm not sure if she's been just recently there. I don't know, and we'll dive into it here in a second. Because the relatively new nature of 401k plans? What the hell are you talking about? 401k plans aren't new. More still needs to be done to know why retirees spend down the assets so quickly. They don't spend the assets so quickly. It's... Look, those with a traditional pension which guaranteed a fixed income amount likely need to turn to their savings less because they're reliable income. Why did we go to the 401k plans, gal? You want to know why? Because the pensions were going bankrupt in the late 60s and early 70s. That's why we had ERISA to begin with. It wasn't because 401k plans, it's because the pensions are going bankrupt. And they're going bankrupt right now in municipalities all over the United States. We did this as a first look at whether or not we should be worried. Of course, what does she say? Is this gal? I don't know who that person is. Don't care. And the conclusion is, yes, we should be worried. It's freaking... Here, he or she, I don't know what it is, says right here, 401k plans only became widespread in the 80s. Gal, you know we're in 2022 now. That's 40 years later. Let's take a look who Gal is here. I don't know who this person is. It's got to be a lady, right? Gail, something like that. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. So let's read this article that just go over. There's Anki Chen. She's been around for a long time. Alicia, right there, 2022. But they don't show like her bio, which is interesting, or hers, or him. Let me just take a look. This is what they say. The analysis suggests that many new retirees could deplete their 401k by age 85. Well, you should download this and read it. I haven't read it yet. We'll do it here in just a second. It's only 8 pages, 9 pages, and one's a blank appendix. So let's just look right here what the appendix is. Let me read it real quick and we'll just talk. I can read you the results. I cannot believe that... I'm going to compare someone with $200,000 in a pension with someone with just $200,000 bucks. And I'm going to be stunned that the person with $200,000 on pension has more left to their name than someone with just $200,000. I'm going to compare someone with $100,000 in a 401k to someone with $400,000. I'm going to be stunned that someone with $100,000 has left to their name than someone with $400,000 bucks. All right, so let's just read this. It's depressing. It's depressing because it's just so silly. And I can't believe educated people can't figure this out. That's probably the problem. Maybe because they're educated, they can't figure it out. All right. Figure 2 shows a relationship between having a defined benefit plan and the change in wealth over the relevant period. At all 3 target ages, having a defined benefit plan is associated with more retention of wealth. You're getting a secondary sources of income. Oh my goodness, that the other person doesn't have. You're not comparing apples to apples. You know what you do to make this true comparison? You say, what is the present value of an annuity, essentially? So again, if we have a $200,000 if we have an annuity that pays $5,000 here, I'm just using that. The present value is $200,000. I'm literally just throwing it out there. So say, what's the likelihood if I don't have that annuity, and instead I have is the present value is $200,000 plus the $200,000 I have in investments? That would be a fair comparison. Comparing a guy with $400,000 liquid net worth with a guy with $200,000 liquid net worth and an annuity / pension. This right here is just silly. I mean, it's mind-bogglingly silly. I can't believe it. All right, by age 70, a household with a defined benefit plan drew 13 points less than their starting wealth in households without one. Shocking. For a household that entered retirement with a defined benefit plan of $200,000 in savings, this slower drawdown corresponds to $28,000 more wealth at 70. By age 75, they had more than $86,000. However, the result at age 80 is not statistically significant because there's too small of a sample size. But we're still going to use that and say, even though we don't have enough sample size to give us any projections, what we're going to do is say, as a result, boomers would deplete their assets by age 85, about the life expectancy for someone who reaches retirement age. Why? Because this, and that's where you should be scared, because this leaves them no precautionary savings for either medical risk or longevity risk, even though roughly half would survive past this age. All right. It's just mind-boggling. I'm done here. I can't take it. I can't take it. I can't take it. Here's my man Hurd. I don't know. He goes back to 1987. He was the beginning of the spending decline, if memory serves, in retirement. Was it Hurd? Yeah, absolutely. One of the first people that I read doing that, actually, was pretty interesting. Yeah, Michael Hurd right there. Yep, Michael Hurd. I didn't realize he goes back to 1987. Good on him. Just real quick. Home equity commitment and long-term care insurance. Ooh, that was pretty interesting. Do required minimum distributions rules matter? All right, let's see. Michael Hurd. To leave or not in the distribution of bequest motives. All right, anyway, Mono, whatever name is. The effects of Rmds on withdrawals. Okay. All right. So you can read that, and you probably should. Actually, you probably shouldn't. It's not going to matter. Brookings Institute. Urban Institute. I just always chuckle at their donors. I would be stunned if Bill and Melinda weren't part of this. All right. Love your thoughts. We'll see you.